They improving.
Appreciate y'all,
They not
fellas.
proving yet.
Look, man, we got another guest, man. You gonna keep this
Peace out,
going
boys.
back and forth. See you in the HOA meeting, man.
All right, Teddy.
Baseball ain't got nothing to do with that.
You're right. My bad, Teddy. Let's bring Vaughn up.
Really, Nationals catch all the smoke from Joe. It is Joe's fault this year. When I asked him why the Tigers weren't top 8, he said they don't win enough. But the Nationals was top 8. I said it's smoke from here on.
Well, look.
We just made the playoff. And he called it fluke. He said us making the playoffs and go to the second round was fluke. That's why the Nats catching all the smoke this year.
Well, all right. So just like Worm and Joe, I'm here to fight when they not around. But when they around, they got you.
Well, Vaughn about to be fighting too. Vaughn said back there like, dang, he taking all these shots from my squad.
Now we about to bring Vaughn up right now. What's up, Vaughn?
What it do, fellas?
What's going on, boy?
Not much, man. Here to slander, all the talk, all the chit chat. But you know, I'm there to fight when it's time to fight. Like Tomo said, it's not my time to fight right now, man. I got nothing to fight. Let's do it.
All right, well, we got RBO Vaughn on, the #1 Orlando Magic fan. And we heard a lot about the draft coming up. And shout out to our insider, Davey Doghouse over here, you know, NBA insider. He's going to give us all the scoops. So come Sunday, we like a lot of trades are going to happen, but we didn't think this one was going to be the first one to start the Avalanche. Desmond Bane.
Technically, Carl was the one that said something about it first.
I was, but nobody responded. I'm glad you peeped it.
That's true.
Well, I'm glad you. Desmond Bane was a Spartan, right?
No, he was a TCU Horn Frog, but
Thank you.
I loved him like he was a Spartan.
That makes sense. I knew it was something. I knew it was something there. But on Sunday, Desmond Bane get traded from Memphis to Orlando. In Orlando, they decided to say, I mean, my bad. Memphis decided to say, we'll take Caldwell Pope. We'll take Cole Anthony. Or you want to give us some picks? We'll take the 2025 first round pick. We'll take a 2026 first round pick, which is a swap rights from Phoenix or Washington. And we already know what Washington's doing, so we'll see what happens there. 2028 first round pick, 2029 first round pick swap. Was y'all playing 2K? 2030 first round pick? Man, y'all just gave up. All right, so look, man, with this massive statement that you all made to the NBA, how are you feeling about this trade?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic, I must say. I'm feeling like Orlando is saying, we're here. You see this jersey I got on? Let me go down for y'all. That player right there, see, people say, y'all traded 4 or 5 picks. Did y'all get KD? Did y'all get this person? Y'all get Giannis? We don't need a top 10, top 5 player. We have one, and that's Paulo. This is telling me that Orlando is banking on Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs. He's banking on their guys. They're saying, we're here, we built, trust the process, and the process is here. Paulo Banchero is a superstar in the making. All he needs is a good supporting cast. Everybody knows last year we were the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. And then we had injuries also in the playoffs. And you saw Paulo was averaging 30, almost can get triple doubles if he had guys that can hit shots. And what the Bang bring? Buckets, 3-ball specialists. He's one of the guys in the last 4 years who's averaged 20 points, shot 40% from the field, averaged 4 assists, and also attempted 7 threes. There's only one other guy in the NBA that done that. Y'all know who that is? Steph Curry. Now, that shows you how efficient he is. That shows you what he brings to the table. And that's something that Orlando needs. So, Heath, watch out. We know that the Celtics are going to be undermined this year without a Jason Tatum. We don't know what we're going to get from Philly. Everybody say the Pacers are, they're good, but do we see them being that dominant again next year to just repeat? They're just not a shoe-in next year. The East is wide open, man. And Bang brings what Orlando needs. And we here.
Carl?
First, I would like to say that I don't know why they gave up so many picks. I get that you think that they feel like they're banking on Paulo, and I absolutely 100% agree that you should bank on Paulo. However, I wouldn't say F all those picks as y'all said. I would have tried to keep some of them. Now, Tomo, do they still have their pick from this year?
I didn't write that down in my notes.
No?
Let
No.
me look.
They don't.
Oof.
No.
Oh wow.
Oh no, the 2025. You're right. That's the first one they gave
You
up.
gave
I
up
was
all
about
the
to say.
picks.
Yeah.
I was about to say because I know Vaughn wanted Walter Clayton, and I felt like he would have been cool backing up and learning from Desmond Bane, but nah, he can't do that no more. I like the trade. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the pick haul was a bit much, but I do like Desmond Bane in Orlando, and for the reason that he said, Orlando was really good defensively, and I feel like Desmond Bane is. I don't want to say he's a defender like a stopper, but I do feel like he is underrated. Like people don't talk about his defense enough, in my opinion. And I do think he will help Orlando's defense. But he, like he said, he brings buckets, he brings scoring. He definitely can shoot the three ball. He's one of those guys you can kick out and hit a three. And that was what Orlando was lacking, just offense. And they were still in games at times with the Celtics. They were in a lot of those games actually, with it just being Paolo and Franz. So I do like the Desmond Bane trade to take their offense to another level, and they get Jalen Suggs back. So that's big as well. I just don't like the 4 picks, like the 4 first round picks. Maybe if you could have threw some second rounders in there instead of some first rounders, I get it. Paulo is definitely a superstar. I would argue he's a superstar in the making. I would argue probably now, in my opinion. But I just don't like the 4. But I do love the trade for Orlando. It does make them that much more of a contender in the East. And the last thing I just want to say about the Pacers, I feel like the Pacers do get disrespected because this is not the first year that they made a deep run. They made a deep run last year, and Halliburton got hurt in the ECF. Who knows what happens? I still think Boston wins, but all those games were close, and they didn't have Hallie, so who knows what happens? So I do think Indiana, if they keep their nucleus together, they are a team to look out for in the East. They are a team that can contend every year if the nucleus stays together in the East. So I will throw them in there as well. And I like to move for Orlando. I think I honestly make my Pistons have to make a move, to be completely honest, because that's a really good move for Orlando.
Yeah, I like this move too. Because he brings the offense and the shooting that Orlando needed. I was in another chat talking about this trade, and I said that it reminded me of when the Celtics traded away Marcus Smart. The only difference is Desmond Bane makes a lot more smarter decisions offensively, and he's not as great defensively as Marcus Smart is, but he's still like just like Carl said, he is underrated as a defender. I mean, he played in Memphis. Memphis is one of those tough cities where it's like you gotta bring some kind of defense. And when you come to Memphis, you gotta think about when Mike Conley was there, Zach Randolph, and Marc Gasol, and those guys, Tony Allen. First team all defense. That was Tony Allen right there. So he brings that moxie that Orlando already has. And it's not just Jalen Suggs coming back. They got Mo Wagner coming back too, because he's going to.
I thought they said they're not bringing him back.
They bringing him back. Now that was someone else. Mo Wagner's coming back. It was they're just going to give him a cheaper deal. That's all it is.
Okay.
They're just going to give him a cheaper deal. But Mo Wagner's coming back. I think Gary Harris is who they're not bringing back.
I saw that too.
Yeah, Gary Harris is not coming back, and that's another good thing. Yeah, because Gary Harris was not making a lot of smart decisions for Orlando. So, for me, it seems like they're moving in the right direction to go and compete in the East. And like Vaughn said, yeah, the East is wide open next year because Jason Tatum is out for the year, so you're not going to see him next year. And I'm hearing rumblings that Jaylen Brown might be traded. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know if it's official, but the Spurs are looking at him in case they don't get, in case they're not able to go and get. KD. If they're not able to land KD, they're looking at Jaylen Brown. So that brings a lot into what Orlando has already. And Wendell Carter is still there for as a center. I know Vaughn didn't like him that much, but you won't really need him to do too much now because you got Bane on the offense. He can just be there for rebounds and defense, and that's okay for one. And but I am with Carl when it comes to those picks. I do feel like they gave up a lot of picks for Desmond Bane. Now I know that picks don't always mean something to certain teams, but if you look at the teams that are in the finals, most of their picks, most of their team was built through the draft. So if you want to be a team competing for years and years, I think that's something that you might want to do. And to give up all those picks, I don't think you have a first round pick until maybe 2029, something like that.
Yeah.
2029, maybe 2030. So you got a long time until you get another pick. But Paolo's young, Franz is young, Mo, the team is young. Desmond Bane is probably the vet on the team, if you really look at it. So the team is young, and they've been going through the playoffs the last few seasons. So this is going to be something that's going to be interesting for Orlando Magic. But this is a great move to go get Desmond Bane because this answered a question that was on this team the entire time because they played like Carl said, they was close in every game against the Celtics. They just needed offense. If Bane was there, I think there's a great chance that Boston would have been put out in the first round by Orlando if Bane was there.
Well, I mean, just like what was it, 2 years ago or last year? You said Paolo was going to be top 5.
Mm-hmm.
That was last year, right? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you fast forward to this year, you all like one of the that was last year too, but it was like the top 5.
Yeah,
No,
it
that
was the year,
was
he said that the year they finished as a 5th seed, they played against Cleveland.
then the team was top 5, and then you come back, y'all make the playoffs again. So, like you said, the Orlando Magic are definitely trending in the right direction. I think we all can agree. I mean, it depends on what the front office sees with the picks, and probably it's the NBA. You can find a way to finesse a first round pick with another team at some point down the road. But to do this, you get Bane back, you add him to that core. You already know how I feel about Mo. So that already helps there. And then how Paolo was just playing in the playoffs. But the one thing I think us all being in the Eastern Conference can agree with is this does help you plateau to another level. Because another team that we didn't really bring up is the Knicks too. Because again, we don't know what's gonna happen there. Like we know what the roster is, but we don't know what's really gonna happen because they still don't know what head coach they can go get.
Man,
Head coach might come in.
they're too busy calling other teams and getting hung up on.
You see what I'm saying? It sounds like a New York chick. But anyway, the Bucks. Giannis might not be there. So that's another team.
He
Who
ain't going
knows?
away.
I don't think he's going away even.
I
think he's
right,
loyal.
but we say that, but then Doc Rivers might come back as the head coach. So we know what's gonna happen in that situation.
He like him.
No, but what I'm saying, we know what the Bucks is gonna be. They're gonna get to the playoffs and then they're gonna lose. Meanwhile, Orlando could play the Bucks and they could be the team that beat them to go to the next round. So you just don't know. The Pistons are getting better. The Pacers they're showing some consistency as far as just how good their team is. We don't know what they probably figure out what they're gonna do at the center position because I got some gripes with Mal Turner. And the Cavs. So outside of that, if you look at the landscape, they called around and said we can go add one more player and make another push for this. So I like the idea and the trajectory where it's going with Orlando. They're not in the rebuild phase, so why not give up the picks? Because we plan on being one of the late teams in the playoffs anyway. So we're not going to be in the lottery. They looked at the picks like we can give them up. Now, all the way up until 2030, I probably would have stopped at like 28 just to see. But again, sometimes you got to do some things to get the deal done. And I know on the flip side, we're going to say what it means for Memphis. But I like the actual move for Orlando.
Yeah, I like the move for Orlando too. Like I said, it helps them compete in the East. And there's something that, people saw just coming up this year. They probably would have been a top 3, top 4 team this year if it wasn't for all those injuries. Paolo got hurt early in the season. Franz was out for a while. Mo Wagner was out for the season. Jalen Suggs got hurt. So they had a lot of injuries, and that's why they ended up in the play-in. It's because of injuries. But the team itself, they should have been at least top 4, top 5 this year.
Yeah, what I'll say though about the picks, I know a lot of people is like, dang, a lot of picks. But listen, man. Well, do we got a ring? Do we got a championship? Do we got a finals? We got appearances, but do we have a ring?
Nope.
I told y'all what it is, man. I said Paulo was top 5 last year because I see it. I see how great this dude is. And so does the front office. You know what I'm saying? We all in right now. You feel me? We got a lot of young guys, even off the bench, that we still like Tristan Da Silva, Anthony Black, Jet Howard. We still got a lot of young guys. It's like, hey. We still got some young guys that we make a maneuver later on for a pick or something like that if we need to. But just like Tomo said, we plan on competing. We plan on being a top seed in the East because we know what we can do. You feel me? So I love it, man. Like, when I saw the picks, I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I mean, if you can go and look at the last look at each pick that we got and go look at the last picks from the last couple of years of those picks, and then see what those guys are doing. They're probably guys that don't even not even on the team no more. You know what I'm saying? So we not worried. You know what I'm saying? We've had our years of having lottery picks, 2 or 3 lottery picks, and we built our team through that. So we built our team through the draft, and now it's time to go for it.
I don't know. Who was your last one? It was Caleb Houston. It was Jet Howard. It was Anthony Black. It was I can't remember past Anthony Black. I can't remember past Anthony Black.
No, I'm
Was you?
saying like the last picks, like
Oh, you
we're
mean like?
giving up because I'm saying the picks we're giving up, like this year pick, I think is 16th. That's not a
Yeah,
bad pick.
I got it up right here. I got it. Y'all would have been. Excuse me. 16th. Yep.
Yeah. So that's not a bad pick. But I'm saying after this year, we plan on being top 3 or something like that. So it's gonna be later picks. So like look at first round 27th pick, 20, you know what I'm saying? Like the last 5, 6 picks, like it's
I
very
get.
rare. You know what I'm
I got.
saying?
Yeah, I get what you're
Not saying
saying.
you can't find a gem. Not saying you can't find a gem. I'm just saying we ain't worried about gems right now, man. We trying to find some diamonds. And one thing I want to say about Desmond Bane,
Like,
I think Desmond Bane is so underrated, man. This guy, people don't know how nuclear this guy can get. Like his shot making ability, once he's hot, this dude gets hot. And he's not just a shot maker. He can facilitate. He can defend. He's a strong guard. He rebound. I think he averaged like 6 rebounds last year. So like he's one of those guys that if you plug him into a team that needs I remember it was a time when I think it was like the Lakers just needed a dynamite scorer when Braun and AD was there. If they would have got a Bane type of player, oh my goodness. He's like one of those type of guys. You drop him on your team, he takes you to that next level. That's how I feel. Like, it's like KCP on steroids. So
Yeah, I'm a
I'm
huge
excited, man.
man.
Literal, because you look at the definition of both.
I'm a huge
You look
Desmond
at
Bane fan, and
it.
he was robbed of most improved.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
who won it?
Ja.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of Ja, let's talk about the flip side of this deal. Because
Oh no, I had a question. I had one
go.
question. Center was kind of an issue for y'all last year. You do have 2 second-round picks. Do you try to hit on the center in the second round, which I mean, it's kind of hard. I won't say it's kind of hard, but you know how it can be. Or do you use those 2 and try to trade back into the first round to try to get a center?
I do feel like, I have to look at the draft board to see who will be available in the second round. Because in my eyes, I don't think we need a center that's like we just need a guy that's gonna rebound, defend, catch some alley oops, just be a big guy down there. I'm not really. I don't care for a center that really shoot threes. That's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but I think what we need is a big dog. So to be honest, I think we might can find a guy in the second round because in the first round, I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't looked too hard at the draft board. I'm not sure what centers are coming out in the first. I know the Duke centers coming out. I know the
Hey man, yeah.
Queens coming out. Those guys are going to be gone soon. But there might be a diamond in the rough we can get, man. Hustle guy.
Y'all love drafting Michigan players if Vlad Golden's still around.
Yeah, he is solid too. So, like I said, man, all we need is a guy that is a pure big that's going to defend, rebound, finish around the basket.
Oh, I like Thomas O'Bear from Georgetown. I don't know if he's gonna be around, but I like bruh, freshman.
might
Alice
be a
Codon
potential trade up.
Alice Codon is there in the second round too.
No, I think he's going back to Florida. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw he was going back to Florida.
Maybe I don't know. I'm looking on the ESPN app, but his name is still up here. So, or Johnny Broom from Auburn.
Nah, I think he undersized, bro. I don't know if I like him as a center for the Magic.
He should really be like a power forward for real, or small
Yeah.
forward. A Draymond type player.
Like I said, I like Thomas O'Bear. I like Vlad Golden. I saw another name up here. I'm looking at the prospect list, and I'm thinking of guys that might be in the second round. I like Amari Williams.
Victor Lockman, Lackey from Clemson.
He cool. And Clifford Amarui. Now, honestly, I like Clifford Amarui because he's the defensive center that blocks shots and rebounds. I do
That's
like
what we need.
He played at Rutgers and then he went to Bama.
It is.
I'm gonna ask you a question later off air, Carl, about Ace Bailey. Now that y'all started talking about draft stuff, I just seen something that pop up about him.
Oh, I
But
saw that too.
I
yeah,
saw that too. Yeah.
You talking about what I put in the what I shared in the chat today?
no, I ain't been in the chat. I just heard it. Like somebody sent me a text message of it. But
Oh, I
we'll
got it
talk
right
about
here,
it in just a
Dave.
second.
3 weeks ago, Alex Condon will withdraw from NBA draft and return to Florida.
Okay.
So let's circle back on this topic right quick and say, what does this mean for Orlando? Because now a lot of people are starting to say, well, is it time to trade y'all?